Hi, folks. I'm Christian, and this is going to be our first episode here of Bushes and the Burgh Baseball Talk. Today with me, I do have Zach, who's going to be our co-host today, and just want to welcome him aboard on the show.
Hey, Christian. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I love talking baseball with you anytime we get the chance to sit down and actually do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, just going to be our first introduction episode. We are going to start off with a segment here. We're going to start by ranking our top 5 favorite baseball parks. So I'm going to start with how this is going to go. Basically, we're going to start at number 5. We're each going to say our fives, and then we're going to go obviously up the list from there. So I will hand it over to Zach to start with his his 5th favorite.
Number
Park.
5, bottom of the list. Yeah, absolutely. Number 5 for me, it's got to be one of these underrated gems. You know what I mean? I'm pretty torn between Baltimore and Coors. Yeah, Camden Yards and Coors Field. Coors, I mean, it's just you're in the mountains. It's mile high. You know what I mean? Air is a lot thinner. The bombs get hit a lot further. But Camden Yards has that. There's history value there. I've never personally been to either of these fields, but I do like watching them on screen. And in my opinion, they're pretty underrated. If I had to pick one or the other, I'd probably have to go with Coors.
Coors is I think that's a severely underrated field. It's always it's a nice field just to kind of like visualize. For me on my side of it, I'm gonna go with it's an oldie, but I think it's a goodie. You know, I lived there for a little bit, got to experience firsthand. And it wasn't baseball, but it was the Winter Classic. I'm gonna go with Fenway. I'm gonna put Fenway as my 5.
Fenway's
I think
so much higher on my list, dog. Wow, that's
it's
low.
it's great. It's a great park, but it's old, man, and
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing, but it's just for me, like I think having history is great and it's great for the game,
see,
but
I'm big with the history. You know that.
modernizing and city backgrounds and stuff like that, those are huge to me. So
Growing the game. Yeah, no, I hear what you mean.
yeah, all right. So we'll go back over to Zach with his
Yeah,
number 4.
absolutely. Number 4. Number 4 is very hard for me. And you already know my number 1, and it's split between 2 because I enjoyed both of these parks so much when I actually visited them. So number 4 is a very hard one for me to place. Um, I think for number 4, I'm gonna have to lean towards Oracle. Oracle Park with
Oracle.
with the right field bay just behind the wall there. Like, I mean, you got triple alley up the right center field wall there. Like, I mean, that's just it. It's a pretty looking ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
I
I've never
agree.
been to this park, but it's a pretty looking ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, it's an outstanding park. It's a little bit higher up on my list, but yeah, for number 4, geez, this one's gonna kill you. I just know it. Number 4 for me is gonna be Busch.
Number
So
4, wow, that's
yeah,
low. Yeah,
yeah. Busch. I mean, it's just great. You had the background. It's modern. There's not much that you can say about it. That it's a clean park. It's great. It still has history in some ways because they incorporate the old stadium into the new, and it's a very nice, well put together ballpark.
yeah, I agree. I agree absolutely. I mean, for you, I mean, Bush for me is way high on my list. Um, Moving over to 3, number 3 for me, and now this is where I lean into the history a little bit. Number 3 for me has got to be Wrigley Field,
Wrigley.
and this is purely for I know they're the Cubs. I know, they're Central Division rivals, although that rivalry hasn't been too much of anything lately between the Cards and the Cubs. But it's still it's a nice, even for how old it is, they've cleaned it up. It's a nice park. The vibe is just, it's immaculate. The food there is great. The city itself is a nice city. Around the area is a nice area. The people there are, the fans are, they have the knowledge of the game. They want to be there. They want to watch the game. Um, and I don't have many complaints. That's why Wrigley's going to round out my number 3 pick.
Yeah, and I mean that's Wrigley's a great ballpark, and it's kind of crazy to me that you have Wrigley, which is like this historic but like great ballpark, and then across town you have the White Sox Stadium, and
Guaranteed
it's like
rate. Yeah.
it's just like a complete like I mean personally I've never been there, but it just on television it looks so boring. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, going with my number 3 is going to be Oracle Park. Um,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it's a little bit higher on my list than yours, but I mean it's pretty much right there. It's a toss up between me and Busch and
Right.
Oracle at that point.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean there's not really much to say about it that you didn't already say on it. It's just a
It's
great
just
park.
it's clean. It's nice. The water feature, like any park that's got a water feature, I mean, is,
I'm a sucker for water
yeah,
features.
absolutely. No, I agree with you. Number 2 is where I lean into. Number 2 is where I lean into. And this again has to do with history. Um, Watching Mark McGuire in the home run derby as a kid hit absolute piss missiles onto Lansdowne Street. Boston's got to take that cake, man. I mean, this guy was sending them over that Green Monster, and the Green Monster for me has a lot of sentimental value there. Again, I've never been to this park. I would love to go see this park before they
It's a
demolish
beautiful
it in the
park.
future.
Oh, I
But
don't think they can.
the history there, the absolute just wild dimensions of the field. Like, I mean, it is one of those stadiums that makes baseball interesting when you watch games there.
Absolutely. And I mean, I didn't get to see baseball there, and we absolutely have to go watch a baseball game there. But just seeing the Winter Classic and
Yeah,
how well everything was organized, I mean, it's super organized and it's super well put together, and it's just cool. You walk in there and you just feel the atmosphere. It's just
yeah,
different. Um,
absolutely.
for me, my number 2 is going to be Camden Yards. Again,
Camden,
it's just a very well put together. The brick is just perfect. You got the little landing out there. It's just it's great. It's a great park, and I really can't say much more about it. It's just a great park. It's great.
what was that? That was 2, right? We're
That was 2.
rolling our top spots now. You can't ask me to pick between these 2 parks because they're both beautiful parks, in my opinion. If you made me pick, I would slot PNC at number 2. And I'll tell you why Busch takes number 1 from my point of view.
Okay,
In my opinion, what they did in St. Louis with Ballpark Village
that's true.
takes it just brings it up another notch, right? They both have the backdrop, they both have the cleanliness, the food there is top notch, but the atmosphere of the city because of Ballpark Village just brings that up another scale. No other city that I know of in baseball, not Cleveland, not Cincinnati, Pittsburgh's trying, and I give them credit for trying. But even still, their area that they're trying to create, like that Ballpark Village type atmosphere, is still a block or 2 away. It's not connected right there with the stadium. You can't use your ticket to get in, be counted in the stadium, and be across the street eating
Yeah,
all you can eat nachos and watching the game from the top of Cardinals Nation or something like that. The vibes there are immaculate. The Cardinals Museum there, like everything there is immaculate there. So if you had to make me split, PNC would slide to number 2 for me solely because there is more to do pre-game, post-game very, very close to the ballpark because of Ballpark Village in St. Louis. So Busch takes number one for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in general, Ballpark Village is such a great and a unique atmosphere.
Hmm.
Um, to me, the only other place in sports that really has that is actually Columbus, and they have like their arena district, and it's
Yeah,
kind of similar. But you can't get into like the games obviously beforehand. But that's it. It is a second to none experience.
hands
Um,
down.
yeah. So I mean, if I was ranking an experience overall, I could see where you
Yeah.
get there with
Yeah, I
Bush.
have to include experience there. You know, with the sole exception of every time I go to Pittsburgh wearing a Cardinals jersey, I get death threats. But that splits the difference. I have to include experience in the ballparks, not just the look, but when you're talking about going to a ballpark, you're talking about the whole experience, and I have to include that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
PNC just is absolutely gorgeous. Don't make no exception there at all. And that's why I wanted to share that top spot with Bush because they're both very beautiful backdrops. PNC's got the three rivers with the city and the bridge behind it. And in St. Louis, you've got the arch with the city backdrop landscape there. They finally finished the construction out there in left field, so those apartment high rises back there, it just looks gorgeous. All the glass and the tall buildings back behind the city. I mean, it looks fantastic. And at night, when they get that arch to light up, holy, it's something special.
Yeah, the night really takes it to a next level in St. Louis. It's just great. Um, for me though, number one, I don't think it's really it's not really a debate in my eyes. It's PNC, and it's just like Zach said, it's a scenic view like no other. They did just do a renovation out in center field where they put like the landing out there, and it just adds to it. I think it makes it look even more
Kind of like
seamless.
kind of like Cleveland almost. They've got that landing out there in right center with the what is it the bus of all the historic players out there. But you could get real close to the field on that landing. The other
Yeah.
thing I do like about PNC too, and I will add this, and this also kind of gives into the experience as well. You can talk to the players in the bullpen there. You can
Yep.
play catch the player. It's real easy to get to the bullpens, get balls. The thing I do like about PNC that not many other parks offer is pre-game. You can get in early. You can
Mhm.
watch the opposing team's batting practice. So as a Cardinals fan, I like going to PNC because I can watch batting practice, catch some fly balls, play catch with the other players that may be out there shagging some. Like it's always a great experience. As many balls as I collect when I go, I always keep one for myself, and then I give the rest to the kids. The kids are there too. They may be annoying sometimes, and don't get me wrong, parents, keep an eye on your kids, man. Don't let them get that close to the field. Don't let them lean over the fence like that. They're going to be toppling over an 8-foot wall. It's not something we want to see. Nobody wants to see your kids get hurt because they're trying to shag. I always try to, if I catch a ball, if I already got one for me, I'll pass them out to kids if I can catch them.
Yeah.
Always bring your glove to the ballpark, guys. Anywhere you go, if you can get in early, you can shag some balls. Bring your glove.
Yeah. And another thing with PNC, it's because it's so intimate. It kind of disappoints me that the game hasn't grown in Pittsburgh the way that it should have. Um, you get to communicate with the players a lot more, I think, than other places, and I don't know. It's a more friendly environment, I think, as a whole, as from a player perspective. Now,
I
the
totally agree.
fans, I'll get into later.
Yeah.
That's a completely different aspect for me. All right, but that wraps up the top five segment there. I mean, if you guys want to let us know later on with comments, let us know what you think, what your favorite parks are, and give us your reasons why. But that being said, we'll move into our next segment. We're going to rank our top five fan bases in baseball. Okay. So
Top
we are
five
going to
and bottom five, or top
we're gonna do
five?
our top five, and then the next segment we'll rank our bottom five.
All right. Sounds good. I'll let you take this one first. We still
All
going
right.
five up, or we want to do number one and just roll through the list?
We'll go five up, just
All
to
right.
keep it a little suspenseful.
All right.
All
Very
right.
good.
All right. So number 5 for me. I don't know if this is gonna be a surprise or not, but I just feel like, I interact with their fans in other sports, and in other sports, I can't stand them, but for whatever reason in baseball, I have great conversations with them. I love having a conversation with them anytime. Um, I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Orioles. I think they got a young team coming up now, and their fans are starting to get behind that team, and it's kind of fun to watch them rally around that team. So I mean, I think they're a top 5 fan base at this point in time for me. I'll send it back over to Zach there and see his fifth.
Yeah, man, number 5 for me is always a tough one. It's always tough to rank those middle of the pack ones. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. Let's go. This may come out. This may come out left field a little bit. Let's go number 5. Give me the A's.
The
Number
A's.
5. Give
Okay.
me the A's. I, as a fan of the game, can appreciate a conversation with the A's fans. I can also appreciate how they tried to rally around their team, rally around their city, and keep that team to the best of their ability in Oakland.
I mean, I
Um,
can respect that.
Now, I know there are some folks out there who, you know, might complain, hey, you want to keep the team, the city, keep the team in the city, go to the games. Go to the games if you care that much. While I can agree to some extent, there's a lot of outside factors there, in my opinion, that kind of made that decision. A lot of it's got to do with money. Regardless how many people are showing up to the games, they're making a ton of money, and it's got a lot of nothing to do with attendance. COVID year, teams still made money, and not a soul was in the stands. So please keep that in perspective when you're talking about the A's fans and how they've gotten their lives of baseball uprooted and moved out. So number 5, yeah, that's got to be where I start is with Oakland.
With Oakland. Okay. All right. Number 4 for me. Oh, this is gonna be another interesting one, I think. Um for me at least. I mean, other people might not see it that way. Um, I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Brewers. You know, every year, man, I mean, I would consider them to be like a mid-market team. I, I I don't know, man. They sell out a lot of games. They're always contenders, and their fans are always on top. Uh, they're making their voices heard, but they're always like, I don't know, nicer, and that might just be just a Wisconsin type thing. I mean, I just think that they're always general nice. I mean, obviously, I'm a Pirates fan, so no matter what, they're like, ah, you suck, ah, ha, your team's never been good. But like, it's always like, I don't know, playful, if that makes sense. It's never like back and forth. Like for me, like when I go with like a Chicago fans are always ruthless to Pirates, and I mean, rightfully so. But I don't know. I get better interactions with Milwaukee fans than I do Chicago, so I'm gonna go Milwaukee here. So
Yeah,
I'll pass it back over
absolutely.
to Zach.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I totally agree with you there. Um, I completely agree with you on that aspect, 100%. Um, I want to throw out a quick honorable mention. Didn't quite make my top 5, but these fans are usually very, very, very good fans to be around, regardless of where you meet them, whether it be at the game, whether it be completely across town, whether it be completely across the country. Got to give it up to Red Sox fans on the honorable mention list.
That's
They're just all around solid people. I mean, they're Boston people. They've got the passion, they've got the energy, they've got the knowledge when it comes to the game.
they're
But they're on
definitely
my
ruthless though.
they're ruthless, but and that's why they're on the honorable mention list. But they don't quite take my bottom 5. Um, uh, but they're not quite in the top 5 either. So I got to throw the honorable mention out there. Moving on, we're number 4 now. It's got to be Seattle. Got to be Seattle for me. Seattle fans,
Interesting.
I don't know, there's a buzz about them when you have a conversation with them. J Rod's doing a lot of stuff out there. I mean, this kid looks to be the next Ken Griffey Jr. for them. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's going to be Ken Griffey Jr. reincarnate, but for Seattle fans, I mean, he's the next big thing. And I think there's a lot of excitement, similarly to your number four, they're excited about it and they love to talk baseball. They really do. Um, again in Seattle, there's not a lot of sports out there. They've got hockey now recently, and they've had football around, but Seattle really likes baseball. Anytime you're in Seattle, don't let the weather bum you out. Find a bar, talk some baseball, some Seattle fans.
In their arena, stadium is a very underrated stadium too. I mean,
T-Mobile, yeah,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
what they recently had the All-Star game there, and it was just, I don't know, they did well with it. I mean, it was solid overall. So, I mean, I could see it. I mean, I have a friend that's a Mariners fan as well, so he was hyped when they made the playoffs. So,
100%,
so
100%.
I can get behind that. So for me, on number 3 now, I'm gonna do one. It's a little close to home. Okay. Um, Definitely not a fan base that, in all of their sports. Okay, they go through so much and have gone through so much that honestly, to me, when it gets to playoff time and their team makes the playoffs, it makes me a little excited, and I just have no love for this city whatsoever. But they are so loyal to all of their sports franchises, even to their own detriment. And I'm
I
gonna
think I
go
know where
with
you're going with this one.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Guardians. So they are a really good fan base. They support their games, and I mean they're a small market team, just like the Pirates. Okay, but they show up for their games, and they don't complain as much, I think, as they could. But I mean, recently they've been pretty solid. So I mean, they're a great fan base, and it's kind of nice to watch them in playoffs. And since Pirates never make the playoffs, it's kind of nice to have like a little side route. I'll never openly, publicly support Cleveland in any metric whatsoever, but they are a great fan base.
Yeah,
So I'll
no, and
say,
it's kind of funny you bring that up too, because Guardians made my number 3 list as well. They. So, for a lot of you that are unfamiliar, I'm a Cardinals fan, but I live in Cleveland. So I get to see on the daily, Guards fans and how packed the city gets every night for their games when they're home, especially against a rival, especially when they go to the playoffs. I mean, that 2016 playoff run for them was nothing short of magic. And that was cut short courtesy of some bad coaching decisions, but we'll talk about that another time. But the Guardians, I mean, I am 20 miles or so from downtown. Um, and from my place, I was able to hear the stadium rocking when Lindor hit that nuke in the World Series and sent them to the World Series. I mean, it was insane. This city was blowing up. I mean, but that's the thing. It's always been that way for all of their sports. All of their sports. It doesn't matter what sport it is. I mean, you could throw a WNBA team in here and they'll pack the house at Rocket Arena. I mean, I can tell you that right now. I went to a Monsters game. It's AHL hockey. It's a packed house there. I mean, it's nuts how they support their teams, no matter how good or bad they may be. And the Browns fans, makes me wonder if they have jobs, dude. Like they're showing up to tailgate at the Muni lot at 6 a.m. and they're staying there until a 7 o'clock at night game. It's like you guys put in a 12-hour shift at the Muni lot, but you can't even put in a 12-hour shift at your job. Like, gee whiz, like Browns fans, it's the dedication. It really is the dedication. Um, I have a lot of friends in Cleveland that talk ball, and they're very in tune with what's going on in baseball, in all their sports. And Guards fans, they got to take number 3 for me.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I can't argue that, being that it's the exact same, but I mean, it's crazy how we did not make this list beforehand,
No,
and it's funny that it ended up being the same. For me, for number 2, okay, this one is another one that for me is out of left field. Okay, don't get me wrong, they are a ruthless fan base. Okay, it's just a ruthless city in general. Um,
are you
and
gonna say what I think you're gonna say? Go on, go on.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
on.
But for me too, and this is going to give it away to Zach immediately. Um, I do not like their star player. I do not like him at all.
I know who it is.
Um,
I don't know why.
but I like him to an extent, but also he goes over the top, and that's why I don't like him.
Dude, he
But
hits yaks, bro.
he does, he does.
The bombs are
But
nuts.
yeah, I am gonna go with the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay,
Top
and
5, number 2. That's insane.
yeah, their fans, I mean, there's nothing like Philadelphia fans. Okay, they are extremely ruthless, they are extremely rude, but they're unapologetic about it. And to me, it just makes it so much fun to watch them. And then obviously their recency success, just having them just like be in contention, and it's just fun to watch. I think they're just overall, it's a great atmosphere to watch, but it's just funny to watch their comments and stuff like that. It kind of makes me smile. And I know for a fact, especially after the Bryce Harper comments, they're going to gaslight me, but I'm here for it because,
I love Bryce Harper, dude. I don't understand what you don't like about Bryce, dude. The guy is electric. He is electric.
he is, but all over the top. And
And
we'll get
here's
into
why
that on
I
another
think he's
point.
electric, dude. That grand slam in the bottom of the 9th inning against the Cubs, upper decky inside the foul pole, was insane. Was insane. The guy is Mr. Clutch. He is electric. I don't understand how you can't like him.
That's for another episode. We'll get into that another time. But, but I'll
Come
pass
for
it
this
back
man.
over to you.
Come for this man. Bryce
But
Harper is the guy.
I'll pass it back over to Zach
I
for
think
his
he
number
is
2.
highly underrated. um, Number 2 for me is going to be controversial as well, especially because I'm a Cards fan. However, these fans, I mean, like I said when I was doing the stadium rankings, I mean they're solid. Um, just I got nothing else to say about them. They're just solid fans. They are passionate. They're true to the core, die hard fans for their team, and I got to go with the Cubs.
Cubs.
Cubs
Okay.
fans are, while we may be rivals, while we may do that, I could still sit down and have a beer with one of them, and have an honest to God conversation, an open one, an off the cuff, no holds barred, genuine conversation with a Cubs fan without fists flying. You know what I mean? And that's something that I can appreciate from any fan, and they're purely just solid.
See, we can't have that conversation in Pittsburgh after the Kang injury. We can't. I'm sorry,
No,
Cubs fans
no.
were just terrible after that. That was that ruined the Pirates' chances, in my opinion, at a World Series. It was when they overslid into second base and ended Kang's season, and he was never the same player after that. So
I can understand. Yeah, I can understand absolutely. But my experience with him has been pretty wholesome, to be honest with you.
no, I mean, for me, going to number 1 here, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have the same number 1.
You think so? I mean,
Maybe.
I've got an image I'm going to throw up on the screen to show why my pick for number 1 is number 1. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same one, but I'm gonna throw out my honorable mention here,
Yeah, go
and
for it.
the honorable mention, I'm just gonna say because they are so supportive, even though when their team cheated and got caught, they still validate everything. And it's impressive. I mean, to be that supportive of a team that openly cheated.
Yeah, I'll throw asterisks in the chat.
I mean, is it cheating? Was it cheating? I mean, they changed up the whole entire with the pitch com now, the way that signs and stuff get stolen and everything makes it harder. Can't wait for the next wiretap.
And this is this is another conversation for another time. But like, stealing signs is part of the game. You know what I mean? But when you bring in that outside technology to do it, that's when you start to cross that line.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna put an honorable mention for Houston Astros. I mean, obviously they sell out. They sell like crazy amount of merch, super highly competitive. It's great atmospheres for games. I love the choo-choo train up on top of the tracks. Shout out Michael A. Taylor hitting one off of that last year.
Albert Pujols hitting that stadium is still in fucking orbit, dude. Brad Lidge, Albert Pujols owns you.
All right, but for my number one, and I'm not just saying this because Zach's here, it is the St. Louis Cardinals. And it's, to me, it's not even really close to a debate. So for comparison, Pittsburgh and St. Louis has about the same population. Cardinals fans attend at 35,000 per game average, while Pittsburgh's barely cracking 20. They have a great atmosphere for games. That ballpark village is fantastic. Cardinals fans at games are so much nicer than I've experienced anywhere else. Maybe it's just because I'm a Pirates fan and they pity me. But every interaction that I've had with Cardinals fans is just awesome. So I'm going to pass it over to Zach. I'm pretty sure. Yep, it's the same.
St. Louis, man. There it is. It's on your screen. What more do you need? The best fans. It's right there. Thank you to the best fans in baseball. It's the end of the 2022 season.
Yep.
It still rings true.
Attendance
is huge. Attendance is huge. Now, you may talk about the seats being empty in this picture, but this picture was like a good 30 minutes after the game was over. And we lingered in the stadium. These are how many people linger in that stadium after the game to watch the conversations with the players, to, again, wish Yachty and Pujols appropriate send off.
That weekend was amazing.
And this weekend was the weekend we got to see 701. We timed it to go see Pujols hit 700, and that shitter hit 2 in LA, and we weren't counting on him getting 2 in LA. And we were there to see him hit 701 in St. Louis against Pittsburgh. And it was, the atmosphere is just electric. Period.
It was.
And even when Pujols isn't there, because we went a year later back to St. Louis to watch a game, the atmosphere was still electric. It was still insane.
And to me, it's crazy because they're still selling out a 35,000 seat clip. And
they were.
And last year they were
above 500.
Bad.
The fall off is insane in St. Louis, but the fans do not budge. They are the best fans in all, and that's just, it's uncontested in my opinion.
And that's going to move us right into our next segment here, ranking the top 5 worst fan bases in baseball.
Well, this is fucking easy for me. I got my top 5 list ready to go.
I don't know. Mine might be a surprise to people. I don't know.
You want me to take this one?
I'll let you start.
All right, number 5 for me is Pittsburgh fans. Fuck yeah. Okay. Every time I go there, whether I'm wearing anything related to St. Louis or not, if I'm not wearing pirate shit, I am getting a death threat openly and publicly shouted at my face. You could be driving in a moving car and you are leaning out your window threatening to murder me.
He was on a scooter.
I was zooming on my little scooty, bro. The what did they have? The Lime scooters before they got rid of them down there now.
Yeah.
Zooming around on my little Lime scooter. All I was wearing was a Cardinals hat. We were headed to the game. I didn't even have a Cardinals shirt on. Like, and
The
this
Cardinals
guy,
weren't even playing. The
they
Cardinals weren't
weren't.
even
No, they
playing
weren't
either.
playing. Like, I just threw a ball cap on to go see the Pirates game with my buddy, and this guy comes driving by. While he's driving, hangs out his window while he's making a turn. Now, this has to show how good the drivers in Pittsburgh are for them to be able to do this at the same time. Because I don't know how he made the turn while he was hanging out his fucking window to yell at me. This St. Louis isn't even in town. I'll fucking kill you. And just kept going. Like, what? Completely unprovoked. Like,
It was
not to
also
mention, like, we're gonna get into the left field loonies here in a little bit, but like, golly, man, they do not know where the line is. Now, like, I'm all for heckling players. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. Like, heckle the opposing players, have fun with it. The players play along sometimes, but there is a line in the sand. To openly tell and to openly tell Matt Holliday that you banged his wife in front of 30,000 people and everybody in the stadium heard you because it was dead silent. There's a line, guys. There's a line. I know you're hammered, but Jesus, conduct yourselves publicly. That's it. That's Pittsburgh's number 5 for me. Now, they're not the worst, but golly, like, my word, they could be. They could be if they keep going.
that's very interesting in my in my eyes there. To me, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can't really say much about that. To me, I am gonna go with Tampa Bay at 5. Okay,
Interesting.
and you know the reason why I'm saying Tampa Bay, and, overall, I think they are normally great fans, but they are so fair weather, and I get it. It's Florida, so half of them probably are snowbirds anyway. But looking at the numbers last year, 16,000 attendance. I mean, I get that they weren't great, but 16,000, like, where are we at here? Support your teams. I mean, the whole thing is, it's like everybody complains about money in baseball and a salary cap and stuff like that, but these teams don't support or don't get support from the fans, and then that's what kills their team. So for me, I'm going to go Tampa Bay, and it's not really because they're rude or anything. It's just I don't think they support their team enough. I think they're fair weather. And to me, fair weather fans is a huge thing, and you'll find that out later in the list. But yeah, I'll pass that back over to Zach for any comments, and then his number 4.
No, yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. Attendance is big, but I think I'd agree with you almost. I'd run them as my honorable mention, just because, like, I mean, the city was totally fine with uprooting them from Tampa and putting them somewhere else after that hurricane ripped through. Like, they don't even. I'm not going to say they didn't try to fix Tropicana, but Tropicana is not a very good ballpark, just flat out. Now, they do have a cool feature, and the Stingray tank in center field is a very cool feature. You can go out, feed and pet the Stingrays. It's very neat, but it's not baseball. It's not baseball related, right? Kind of like Arizona's pool. It's just not baseball.
Yeah. I mean, it's a solid overall reasoning too.
Yeah. So they fit my honorable mention list. But rolling into number 4, it's got to be Houston fans, man. And it's solely because they tried to defend their team.
See, I respected him for trying to do it.
Yeah,
well,
I know
not
you gave them
not trying to
respect,
do it,
but in my opinion, man, that's just a bad look, dude. It's a very bad look. Just to not kind of sit down and take your loss in that situation, respectfully. I saw a lot of y'all arguing it online. So throw that asterisk up in the books. it is what it is.
With
Houston's
the
my number 4.
asterisk. I mean, I respect it. I mean, obviously, I had them as my honorable mention for top best fan bases because, I mean, it takes a lot of energy to constantly defend, and they're not caving or breaking. So, to me, it's a little bit respectable. All right, so number 4 for me, I am gonna go with the New York Yankees. I cannot stand you. I do not want to stand you. You
That
spend
low
a
on your? They're a little higher on mine.
well, when we get to my number 1, you'll
Okay,
understand.
it might make sense when we get to number 1, but yeah, go on.
It's to me, it's like, oh, we're so much better. We have all these championships that happened forever ago, and to me, it's just like we don't care. At this point, you spend so much money on a team that isn't even fun at that point. Like I get it. Obviously, it's fun for you because you win everything, but it's is it really even fun? And it's going to be the same argument for me for number 3 and number 2, and it's just
Yeah.
but it's just you're so abruptly annoying, and it's like I know that's New York, and it's just loud and in your face, and it's just
They're
I
characters. I'll say that. They're characters.
maybe it's because I lived in Massachusetts for a little bit. I just have extra hatred for New York, but uh, yeah, I mean that's where I'm gonna keep them. That's where I go. So I'll pass it back over to you.
Number 4, huh? Rolling to number 3. I'm the other side of the Big Apple. Um, New York Mets fans, you guys are fucking terrible. I mean, holy, like the absolute meltdowns I saw during anything. Anytime you guys have something bad happen in your organization, I mean, it is like the end of the world. Now, like there's an argument to say, well, what about, passion? Like I get the passion, I get the dedication, but like, golly, be an adult. My God, don't take to Twitter and start cussing everything out and, threatening to riot and torch your city. This isn't hockey and we're not in Canada. Like
Not the
keep
shot
it
of Vancouver, right?
keep it respectful, you know what I mean? Hey, Vancouver shots across the bow, like 51st state coming up, but like
Oh
I
no.
mean, I mean, you guys have got to get it under wraps in New York. That's all I got to say. Um it's a bad look for you guys. I mean, there are some classy Mets fans, and I'm not saying, there aren't, and with the bad list, it usually is a couple bad apples that ruin the bunch. Um, the Edwin Diaz stuff was fantastic. I loved the the rallying behind him with the new walkout intro for him. I thought it was
Love it.
electric. But my God, you guys jump on Pete Alonso for everything. You guys jump on your catcher for everything. You guys jumped on the rest of the bullpen for everything. I mean, guys, they're ball players. Pete Alonso's not hitting a tank every third at bat. It's just not going to happen. You guys need to do a lot more than just have one good closer and maybe one or two good hitters in your lineup. You had Juan Soto last year. You guys fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
Like, clean it up. No, Juan Soto went there this year. You guys have him this year. You guys played him 2 games. But you guys have played 3 games. Why is he sitting one of those games? What's the excuse for that?
Yeah. I mean,
You guys are up in arms thinking you guys can go win the ship with Soto on the squad now, but like, it's been 3 games.
yeah.
He's hit 1 bomb in 3 games. I guarantee you, he doesn't contribute. I guarantee you, he doesn't contribute as much as you guys think he does. He stood there and took strike 3 in one of those early games. I'm just saying. I think it was game 2.
So
Think it was
I
game
think
2.
this is all very interesting because my number 3 is also the New York Mets. And to me, you are so bad. And you act like you're the best. Your team spends like an enormous amount of money to be good, but
Dude,
it's
like
never
this year's the perfect year to prove that
good.
too. Like,
And it's just it's is it even fun? But I know it's not fun for the Mets, and that's why they're above the Yankees for me, is because I know they're miserable that their team spends that amount of money, but they're also so obnoxious about it that I don't feel bad. You know, because if the Pirates had like, I don't know, 100 million of what they spend on payroll a year, uh, oh,
the
it,
luxury tax just doesn't seem to exist for half these teams that blow
no,
over it.
no, and it's
I mean,
just like,
$765 million for 15 years with Juan Soto. In 5 of those years, he's going to fall off.
no.
Like,
I mean, I can't really say much more on that. He pretty much said everything, but it's just, to me, it's just like, how can you be so bad but spend money but be so obnoxious towards other fan bases? It's just, so I don't know. I'll pass it back to Zach for his next
yeah,
one.
my number 2 is the New York Yankees. We're going back across the other side of the apple there. New York fans, you guys just suck. Period. Like, again, we get it. You have 27 championships, but that was also when Babe Ruth was doing it on hot dogs and beer. The game has changed. Wake up. You guys haven't done anything since 2001, and even then, you folded. You guys were juggernauts then. You guys were supposed to win it all. The beginning of the year favorites and the Arizona Diamondbacks clapped your cheeks backwards.
Oh, no. Oh yeah,
Guys,
I
you
mean,
struggle to get by Cleveland. You struggle to get by Cleveland in any playoff series lately. You guys cannot talk as much shit as you do if you guys can't get by. Now I will take my raps for saying that as a Cardinals fan and barely squeaking into the playoffs and missing the playoffs last year. I totally get it. I am not happy with my team, but I'm not about to sit here and tell you guys we're going to go win the World Series.
I feel that. I mean, for me, number 2. I don't know. This might be a surprise. It might not. I don't know. The LA Dodgers. So to me, again, it's the same thing. Is it
I have
even
no idea
fun?
where you're going for number 1. Like,
Oh,
straight up. Like, number 1 is probably gonna, like, I probably haven't even thought of this team. If LA is number 2 for you, I have no idea what number 1
it's
is.
my number one's a good one, and I have a lot of reasons. Um, but LA, is it even fun? Like honestly, is it at this point? Like at this point, it's like, to me, LA fans are just as bad as Houston fans in the aspect of like trying to overly defend. Well, any team can spend money. Well, sure, if they had it. And it's just like, I get it. I love Otani. He's great. I love most of the players on the Dodgers. I don't have a problem with them, but the fans are so annoying. And it's like, oh, we're the greatest. Well, no shit. You spend the most money. And that's, at the end of the day, what it boils down to at this point in time. So to me, that's why LA fans are number 2. I'll send it back to Zach for his number
Yeah, I
1.
mean, my number 1's LA. Like, and it boils down to one word. Now, you guys have given us a nice moment when you guys had Pujols and you guys welcomed him back when he came with St. Louis and hit that 700th bomb. But one nice moment doesn't make up for this one word that I'm about to drop on you guys. That one word is delusional. Period. I do not care. Like, outside of Mike Trout, you guys have touched or had your hands on every big player in the past 20 years. You have 2 World Series to show for it.
And one of them was during COVID, which is that one
Mickey Mouse.
legit?
We Mickey
Eh,
Mouse and we could Mickey
you
Mouse.
know,
We
I would
could
maybe
Mickey
put like
Mouse,
a
but I
half.
don't want to take away. It is in their trophy case.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like a half asterisk or a quarter asterisk
We'll
at that
have
point.
it. 1.5. We'll give you guys 1.5. Delusional.
Yeah.
You guys broke Shohei Otani the moment you touched him. Don't get me wrong, he's still hitting tanks. But, like, how is he going to do pitching this year? He's finally back from TJ. What's the look on
He
his
already won a World
contract?
Series though.
Right. What's the look on his contract in 20 years? I mean, you guys are touting him as the best player. Don't get me wrong, I would agree. In baseball right now, he's one of the best players. I cannot classify any ball player as the single best player of an era until that era is done. We can't sit here and argue. Um, but delusional is the word that comes to mind with a lot of what you've got. Um, Again, I mean, I just don't like how your fans go about representing your team. It's just a bad look 90% of the time. Um, Half of you don't even know what the game is. A lot of you just go for the clout. Dodgers tickets are expensive. If I buy Dodgers tickets and I go to the game, maybe I can catch some clout on social media. But then I sit next to a Dodgers fan and they don't even know half the players on the team, but they know Shohei Ohtani and maybe Clayton Kershaw has been thrown around in their vicinity because he's been around for three millennia. Freddie Freeman because he was a big pickup, but do they know who Chris Taylor is? Do they know who I'm sure they know who Mookie Betts is, but do they know half the names of their bullpen?
I don't know. That is interesting to me. Like, do they even know who Mookie Betts is now?
That makes me
Like
wonder.
the Clout fans, like
It
obviously, like the
genuinely
diehard.
makes me wonder.
It's a good point because
Do
Mookie
they
was
know
supposed to
Mookie
be their
Betts can play?
superstar.
Yeah. Do
He's
they know
still their
Mookie?
superstar,
100%.
but
Do they know Mookie Betts can play infield?
it's to me, it's just
Just saying.
they're rough.
He was a
All right.
perennial all-star at second base.
Yeah. All
Do they
right.
even know
So
him?
so for me, all right, I'm gonna throw out an honorable mention real quick. Um, Miami Marlins, just support your team. That's all I'm gonna say. Like 13,000 in fans outside of Oakland, which
Where am I
Oakland
living?
I get once they left. Um or once they were announced that they were leaving, I get that. And then they showed up obviously for like the last series. But Miami, it's you have a nice looking ballpark. I mean, even at opening day now, I don't know what the actual ticket sales were because I didn't pay attention to them. But just watching the Pirates play in Miami, uh, it didn't really look like it was sold out for opening day, and that's sad. I get that Miami's not great, but even as a Pirates fan, going back, most of the opening days have been pretty packed and have looked at least better than that. And we had some brutal teams, so I don't really want to hear it. Um, but that being said, number one, do you have a guess of where I'm going with this?
I thought you might be going to Oakland just because like a lot of your stuff has been along the lines of fan base attendance or money spend or just general like ignorance of fans, right? But right now I'm lost. You've got me in a blender, my boy.
So number one for me, for the worst fans in baseball, as a Pirates fan, is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ooh, what? What?
And
Oh,
I will tell you
yo,
why. I will tell you why.
curveball.
I will tell you why the Pittsburgh Pirates are the worst fan base in baseball.
Is it because you
Because
love me too much and they threatened to murder me?
no, that has nothing to do
Yeah,
with it. Um,
I'm telling
but
mom.
but the Pittsburgh Pirates are the worst fan base in baseball because all they do is complain about money spent. And I get it. I used to be that person too. Okay. Bob doesn't spend money, which is true. But also, have you given him a reason to spend money?
Bob
Have you
Nutty.
shown up to games? Because even when the Pirates were good for that short stretch from like 2012 to 2015, our highest average attendance was in 2015, which was 30,000 fans per game. Now, that was the first season under Bob Nutting that they ever spent money in free agency because they had 30,000 in attendance per game. They could count on an average. Now, here's the thing. After Andrew McCutchen got traded, you guys stopped supporting, which full-heartedly get. Andrew McCutchen, my childhood hero. I get it. I was pissed off too. Brian Reynolds, though, pretty good, pretty exciting. That being said, all you do is complain about money spent, but you don't go to games. If you went to games, there'd be an argument about money spent. But you've effectively taken away your argument about money spent because you don't show up to games. There was a study that was reported recently that the Pirates lost $2 million in profit last year. So, what money did you want them to spend? There wasn't any money. They signed Brian Reynolds. They signed Mitch Keller. They signed Key Brian Hayes, although that's looking like a iffy signing at this point. I hope he comes back this year. I do like Key Brian a lot. He's invested money into the team, and you respond by going, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Last year, he went out and spent money on Aroldis Chapman, $10 million. People complained that it was too much to spend on Aroldis Chapman. Chapman had a pretty good year overall, but all you did is complain about who they signed, what they signed. This offseason, they made a trade for Spencer Horwitz and moved out Luis Ortiz. All they did was complain that Spencer Horwitz wasn't a great addition to lose Luis Ortiz to. Spencer Horwitz had a better on-base percentage than we've had at the first base position in years. If he gets on base, it's more run potential, okay? Why are we complaining about a move that could potentially impact us? Did you think they were going to go out and sign Juan Soto? Like, maybe if they had an average attendance of St. Louis, again, same population size as Pittsburgh, their fans go to games even when they aren't doing very well. So why all of a sudden are we, woe is us as Pirates fans? Because to me, looking at myself included, we're the problem. We are the sole problem why the Pittsburgh Pirates do not spend money. And to be completely honest, it's unapologetic in my opinion that I think Pirates fans are the worst and oftentimes most uneducated baseball fans because they don't go to games to understand the game. So, and again, that includes myself in this manner as well. So I'm not putting all the blame on all the Pirates fans, but it's pretty bad and it just needs to get better. If you want them to spend money, show up to games. If you want to protest at games, do that. Because then there will be money for them to spend. And this whole, the Pirates are $1 billion franchise. Yes, they're $1 billion asset. It's not liquid cash that they have to spend. So until you realize that, your boycott is hurting the potential to re-sign Paul Skeens in the future. So if you want Paul Skeens around, go protest at games. Make a difference there than outside of it like an idiot. All right. Thoughts on that?
I agree with you. I mean, anytime we talk about Pirates baseball, I mean, everything you've discussed regarding those particulars, I mean, you're usually not far off. If I'm being honest with you, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think it's time we move forward. We're pushing the hour mark here. We've got a couple points left to talk about, and we thought we wouldn't get to an hour.
I didn't think we would make it past 30 minutes, to be completely honest. I thought we had a short content scheduled today. But we are going to move on to the next section. We are going to do our way too early World Series prediction.
Yeah, for me, this is a pretty simple one for me. I really, really like Baltimore this year. Okay. I think Adley's starting to really find his sound and his footing as a now he's a third year veteran now. Gunnar Henderson again too, starting to kind of get saddled in. Jackson Holliday's been pulled up and he's ready to go, and he looks really good to start the year. Not to mention they picked up Tyler O'Neill this offseason, who was an absolute unit for Boston last year on 113 games, 31 bombs, 61 RBIs with a 241 batting average, better than most.
Opening day home run hero.
Opening day nuke. The guy has hit an opening day bomb for the past like 6 years. It's insane. The guy is a stud. I've got a little bit of Cardinals bias there too. So In my opinion, that is a power bat that they needed to add to that lineup. And if he can stay healthy, I think he'll provide very, very deep um, over the next 3 years for them. Um, they picked up Robbie Ray. I know last year he had Tommy John, but he's always been pretty solid out of the bullpen. I think he'll be really good in bolstering their rotation. And then not to mention, going into the pen a little bit, Grayson Rodriguez, Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton. I mean, these guys they're names that have just been consistently solid. They're a very well-rounded unit, and I really like them to get in. And then on the other side of that, the matchup, I really like the Phillies this year. The Phillies they just look solid. I mean, especially early this year, Bryce Harper, fucking Kyle Schwarber. I mean, they're doing what they do best, and that is hit tanks.
He's Joe Buck out here.
Not to mention Trey Turner and Max Kepler look solid. Jose Alvarado looks really solid in spring training this year. I mean, he threw 9 innings with 20 strikeouts during spring training. So he looked very solid in high leverage roles. Zach Wheeler is lights out. I mean, Zach Wheeler is that guy. Aaron Nola's good help with the rotation there as well. And I think both of these teams are hungry for a World Series. As far as who comes out on top of that one, I would like to think that the young guns can come out and pull that one with Baltimore. But if I'm being straight with you, and with the recency of having been there recently, I think the Phillies might edge them and take the World Series this year. Those are my
So
thoughts.
I mean that's a solid. I could get right behind you on that same one. I do like the Phillies. Just because it's a way too early prediction, I'm gonna throw stuff out of left field just to kind of make it interesting. I don't know. Maybe this video will age great and I look like some guru, or I'll look like a complete idiot. I'll probably look like a complete idiot. But I am going to throw in from the American League. I think it is going to be the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, you're high.
They almost put it off last year. So I mean, there's a chance maybe Luis Ortiz is some amazing key piece that they needed.
Stephen Vaught, I just don't think Stephen Vaught's ability is quite there. I mean, he does look a hell of a lot more mentally sound than Tito, in my opinion. I don't think they've got the pieces, and I don't think they've got the bullpen, in my opinion. But I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I just think why not? There's a shot. I don't like to play Moneyball, so I could easily go Yankees, Dodgers again. Blah blah blah, money, whatever. But yeah, I'm just gonna throw the Guardians in there. No really particular reason. I mean, they hit well. They got a decent rotation, and there's a shot. You get in and things could happen. And I mean, although Detroit's a better roster than maybe we thought last year, I don't really see that division not being theirs, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it's a free dance at the table, in my opinion, and it could be wrong, but that's just at least where I'm going to go there. On the national side, I don't know. Looking at their rotation, and it's pretty solid overall. And you still got guys on IL for 15 more days or so. I'm going to go the Padres.
Interesting. Expound on that one.
I just think the Padres have been that team that's been kicking on the door for years. And their rotation is one of the better. Well, I don't want to say it's one of the better, but it's one of the deeper rotations that you have. I mean, you got King, Cease, who I think is kind of like undershadowed. I don't know how to say it. Like he's he's not slept on because people know like what he does, but and then you still got like you Darvish who's on the IL. You have what I think just an overall solid roster. Um, it's just I think if they're gonna do it, it's got to be done sooner rather than later. So they can go out and
They
make.
did just pick up Jason Hayward,
Yeah,
but
they did get
that's
Hayward.
an
Yeah,
aging bat. I mean, we're looking at a team who's got one young guy, maybe two if you're counting Jackson Merrill and Gavin Sheets. Sanders starting to age. Tatis
yeah,
is starting to get into his prime, but there's some controversy with Tatis. With
yeah.
the whole steroids allegations. I don't know. The bench, in my opinion, hitting wise, isn't deep enough. And in my opinion, that starting rotation does not play. I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're gonna go 5 games over 500 this year, any more than that.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean that could
Um,
age terribly. I'm not hugely familiar like with everything on the roster, but
yeah, I
overall,
mean
I
their
think
number one guy. I mean, in my opinion, Yu Darvish is a way better pitcher than Michael King and Dylan Cease. That's for sure. Um,
Cease has his moments though, and I don't know if he could get hot this year. I think I don't know. I just for some reason, I feel like it's a team that's slept on, and it's overshadowed obviously because LA is in that division. That they're just going to be LA is going to be a powerhouse, and there's no way to say that. But I don't know. As a wild card team, maybe they can sneak in and I don't know, catch that. I mean, what the
so
Diamondbacks
like,
did it.
yeah, so like, here's my issue with like Michael King, for example. Um, I mean, he's been a bullpen guy for a very long time. He was brought up in the Yankees organization. I mean, he threw 49 games last year between as a starter slash reliever. 8 of those were starts. He only came out with 5 wins, 7 losses, 2.75 ERA, which isn't bad. Only 104. Sorry, this is 23. Only 104 innings pitched, and then last year it changed drastically for him as more of a permanent figure with the Padres. He did 31 starts. He did have 31 appearances, 30 starts, 13-9, better win loss. Um, ERA swelled a little, 2.95, 173 innings, 201 strikeouts. So he did finally eclipse the 200 strikeout marker. Um, but his whip has been climbing since he's come into the league. And for me, whip's a problem. If your whip is climbing like that, now granted, it's a slow rate. He started in 2020 as a rook. Higher whip came back down to earth in 22, around about 1 whip. But again, that's as a reliever. And then 2 years ago, he split in time as a reliever starter. He's thrown 1.15 whip, and last year it swelled to 1.19. Now, it's not that much, but I just don't see him not getting hit around, in my opinion.
It's a fair
Um,
point.
173.2 innings with 201 strikeouts. That's like what? 1.1 strikeout per inning. I mean, that's relatively low. Um, Obviously, it is nice to see guys who can eat innings. Um, but he's a ground ball out kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's a pitch to contact kind of guy. He doesn't bring anything uh, that blows me away, in my opinion, as far as stuff or velo. And the same with Dylan Cease. I mean, Dylan Cease used to be a White Sox guy. The guy gets knocked around. You Darvish being on the IL is big for them. I know he's slated to come back soon, but he is aging,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
that
my
throws a lot of
thing
red flags for me.
with
Yeah.
Dylan Cease is he had a pretty solid rebound year for all intensive purposes. I mean, I don't know. He looked pretty good last year, and I think if he can stay consistent, and I mean, the big thing is like going back to the inning eaters, I mean, you need those types of guys because bullpens are going to be used, and some days you need an inning eater, and that's,
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, takes a load off. So I mean, if they can,
Yeah, but right now they seem to have them slated in the number 1 slot, and I just. And then as we slide further down that rotation list, I mean, you got Nick Pivetta, and the guy was a former Guardian, and he is the choke artist of the century. You know, I mean, not to sound drastic, but and then we've got Kyle Hart and Randy Vasquez, who have yet to show any value in general. You Darvish on the IL, Matt Waldron, the knuckleballer, he's on the IL. Matt Waldron's still young. He's got something to prove. Their only bright spot, really, in my opinion, is Robert Suarez out of the bullpen as closer. And maybe Wandy Peralta.
I mean, overall,
Estrada was solid. Estrada was solid last year. I'm
yeah.
looking a little further down the stat list here, but picking up Nick Pivetta for 4 years at $55 million isn't a steal, in my opinion.
Hey, I mean, if they're a money team, they can spend money, right? So
I
got to
guess.
keep them away from teams like the Pirates and the Guardians, I guess.
Also, a guy like Manny Machado, I mean, the guy's more problem than anything else. He's aging quickly, and it's showing. His skills starting to fall off. His bat was not very good last year. Tatis, he is electric. He is El Nino. He is, the face of the franchise, so to speak, for the Padres. But I don't think he brings the same electrifying energy or presence to the game quite like Bryce Harper does, or Adley Rutschman, or one of these guys that is ready to step up and take it. In my opinion, both these teams fall flat this year.
Yeah, and I mean that's why I'm just throwing them out as like a way too early prediction, just to kind of see what happens. I mean, I think it would be kind of cool
100%.
to see, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out later. Obviously, we'll do more rankings later on of like actual realistic projections. But for now, those are just the way too early projections. So now we're going to move into our final segment of this episode. We are going to cover obviously our favorite teams. You kind of already know that at this point, but our favorite teams and what the season outlook is for our teams at that point. So I'll let Zach take it away here with the Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely. Cardinals look like shit. I'm gonna be straight up with you. They look really good these first couple of games. Lars and Brendan Donovan and Mason Wynn, Victor Scott looks really good in center field, but they have got a lot of work to do if they want to turn around what last year. Last year is what were they, 83 and
What?
83 and 79. I mean, there were 4 games above 500, 2 games above 500, really. They came in second place in a weak Central Division, couldn't slot into the wild card. Paul Goldschmidt last year is a highlight. We let him walk. He's with the Yankees now. Burleson, he was pretty solid at the dish last year as well. Nolan Gorman, again, solid at the dish last year as well, except for his strikeout rate. In my opinion, the future of this franchise is with the young guys. Guys like Nolan Gorman, Gnarls Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, Brendan Donovan. I mean, these are the guys that are going to get it done. Now, I understand why Lars Nootbaar is on the bench. Last year, it was rough.
Well, he was hurt, wasn't he? Like most of the year.
No, he his strikeout rate increased a lot more than his home run rate. So I understand why he kind of slipped off the table. He got sent down to the minors, worked through his way through in spring training, looked okay enough to make the roster, but now he's a bench role. Added left-handed power depth, bench bat. I don't agree. I think Nolan Gorman has the potential to
absolutely mash. And I think St. Louis needs to find him the help he needs. The problem with St. Louis lately, and there's been a lot of controversy in the dugouts and a lot of controversy in the locker rooms and the clubhouse in general, that they're not letting a lot of the older guys, the former ball players, come in and work with these young guys. And they did find a new hitting coach. He does look to have a different approach to the plate. And he shifts his focus from power to contact to get on base and win ball games, which I can't disagree with. But the home run is fun, and if the guy can mash, let him mash. Now there is situational hitting, and I think Nolan Gorman needs a different approach when it comes to situational hitting. However, the guys in the show, and I'm not, right. Um, I honestly, I think the Cardinals organization is failing him, as they have failed several other major players. Looking at Randy Arozarena, looking at Tyler O'Neill, looking at Harrison Bader. I mean, in my opinion, the Cardinals don't come out more than 90 wins. I'm gonna be straight with you. I think they come out. I think they're a little bit better this year. They stood still at the deadline and during the entire offseason, all last year, and they didn't really add anything of value. If anything, if
I think they
anything,
got they
they
got an
didn't
F
take
on the
advantage.
ranking for
They
off
did nothing.
season.
They
Yeah,
made
they did
zero
nothing.
moves. The only
Yeah.
move they made, and it wasn't even their decision, was letting Goldschmidt go to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Hit a bomb, by the way.
Yeah. Wasn't
Um,
that the three in a row on 3 pitches?
God, yeah, 3 back jacks on 3 straight pitches off of Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
I will be very shocked, though, if they can't at least get into the playoffs and win the Central. And I only say that because this Central division is very, very weak.
It is. I mean,
I think they have the absolute potential to win the Central if they rally around the young guys, if they get Nolan Arenado the heck out of here by the trade deadline well before it and acquire a piece in the bullpen or the starting rotation to give it some bolster. Sonny Gray looked really good 2 days ago, but it's the Twins. The Twins aren't doing hot either. I'd fathom a guess to say he's going to get smacked around by bigger teams and heavier teams with better hitting. Eric Fetty looks solid today as well. But again, I'd fathom a guess to say he's going to get smacked around. Ryan Helsley, again, remains the only bright spot when it comes to pitching. Guy had 49 saves last year, led the league in saves, set a franchise record in saves. The guy is electric, and he's touching 102 again for the first time in a hot minute. And the kid is fantastic as a pitcher. If they do not get that man some help, we are not going to win a lot of ball games. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. I will be shocked if they win more than 90.
Yeah. I
will be
mean,
shocked.
90 would be a stretch in my opinion too for them, but I don't know. I mean, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, I'm going 90 and 72 or less. I think they'll squeak into the playoffs because they get the Mickey Mouse Central win there. The Cubs look like ass. The Reds look like ass. The Pirates are iffy this year. Who else? Milwaukee's getting fried. I mean,
Milwaukee lost a lot in the offseason this year. They lost a lot, and I think it was underrated how much they lost. And don't get me wrong, they're still a great team, but and they're probably still going to be the one that competes with the Cardinals for the division, maybe with the Cubs. I just
I don't see the Cubs doing it. They lost Belly. Belly went to the Yankees too.
Yeah.
I mean, the Reds lost Jonathan India. He was our killer last year. He killed us so many times. stud. Guy's a stud. He's a
He
Central
was an
Division
NAL
rival.
Central killer.
Yeah, I mean the guy is a stud. He's with Kansas City now. Yeah, yeah, I don't see a lot. A lot of declined options. Declined $12 million club options for Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn. Obviously not coming back. Shifting to the younger arms. Made one trade after the season started and acquired Michael Hellman for the Twins. Dropped him down to the minors. Rodri Munoz claimed off waivers from the Marlins. Again, dropped him down to the minors. It's just not looking really good. Nolan Arenado needs to go. We understand he's a perennial all-star, but he's 33. He's had 2 down years with us since acquiring him from the Rockies. Last year he but he went 272 with 16 nukes and 71 RBIs. Now the RBIs are great. That home run number is down drastically. 2 years ago, Gorman was the only one to punch, more than 25 home runs, and that was when I kind of noticed a downturn in the Cardinals' offense since Bullhos. And the kid's 24 years old. I think he needs to be one of the main stars of the main focuses is moving forward. Even last year with a bad season, 74 hits, 15 doubles in 107 games. He looked a lot better defensively, and I really think he would be able to evolve and shift into that third base role should they get Arenado out of here. Lars Nootbaar's just been electrifying. I mean, the guy has rounded his game from the bottom up. The stick has been great. The fielding has been great. He's left-handed bat, which adds to the lineup as well as Gorman. Mason Wynn's been an absolute stud over there at shortstop. I mean, he's the next Ozzie Smith, in my opinion, just with a little more pop. He's got the speed. He's got the hose piece from deep in the hole at the shortstop spot. Brandon Donovan has just been since the Tommy Edman trade. Brandon Donovan has stepped up and filled that role.
He's been fun to watch.
He's been an absolute unit, for lack of a better word. I mean, he's hit the ball when he's needed to hit the ball. He's made the plays where he's needed to make the plays on the field, and he's just been an all-around solid util guy. Obviously, it's tough to watch the Cardinals let Tommy Edman go. I understand why they made the move when they made it, but it's just not good. 2025 season outlook, again, I put them, they look better this year, just watching them in the first couple of games. Projections put them at 76.5 wins. I don't see them getting any more than 90. I like their odds to improve this year. They have the opportunity to do so. 90 and 72 is where I'm going to put them this year. And that's very generous, in my opinion. I'd really like to place them 2 games higher, 85 and 77 on the final stretch.
Yeah.
We'll see more as we move forward. The key to the success is going to be player development. Develop
Yeah.
Gorman, develop Nootbaar, develop Wynn, develop Brandon Donovan. Their ability to excel at the major league level with how they've already done so, and if you can shape it, you will find out that they have potential. We need pitching consistency. If we do not find some kind of pitching consistency and a reliable 1-2 starter, we're not going to win a lot of games. Ollie Marmol, say what you want about the guy. He's making the moves with the pieces he's got. Are they correct? Not always. The guy's got no no real experience when it comes to this. But in my opinion, it's a better Leaf than Mike Schilt. Sorry. Mike Schilt was an absolute joke in my opinion. And it kind of started with Mike Matheny. Tony La Russa handed these coaches the keys to the kingdom. Mike Matheny started flushing it down the drain. Mike Schilt slammed that toilet lid shut. Ollie Marmol got handed with the shit that didn't make it into the toilet, in my opinion. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad to watch, president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak, sit there steadfast during the off season, during last year's trade deadline, and not push to try to win ball games. Trying to win with the pieces we've got. I understand you're trying to instill success in these guys, but you do that in the clubhouse. You don't do that in the moves you're making. If you're that concerned with the moves you're making and how the team's going to react, you got another problem on your hands. And it's because they want to win. I can tell you that right now. I am one of those fans that is excited to see John Mozeliak go at the end of this year and let Kyle Bloom take over. Kyle Bloom worked wonders in Boston and brought a lot of young, new, fresh talent to Boston before his departure. And I'm very excited for 2026 Cardinals baseball.
Yeah, I mean, overall for me, I think just looking at the season outlook for the Pirates, obviously, start in Miami hasn't been fantastic, but there are a couple bright spots. Obviously, you have Paul Skeens, huge bright spot, maybe one of the most entertaining stories in baseball over the past year. You have Mitch Keller, who is honestly, like, since the last 2 seasons, like, captain consistency. He gives you 6 innings almost every time he goes out. I think once in the last 2 seasons he hasn't gone the full 6 innings. That's huge for your pen. You have Bailey Falter, who last year was just decent. I mean, he started off this season also decent. 6 innings again today, 2 runs. It's a solid overall core. You add in Jared Jones to that. Hopefully see maybe Ashcraft or Chandler towards the tail end of the season come up, and you got a solid rotation. And I think that's something that's promising for the Pirates, and it could win you games if you play the games the right way. Now, you need to get runs too. I think so far in Miami, I don't think they're capitalizing in the situations that they're given. A lot of runners on second and third, 2 outs, and need a big hit. You need somebody to make that big hit. And right now on that team, there's nobody really making it. In the past, it's been Brian Reynolds. He hit in game 2, he came up big with one. But today, Jack Sawinski was that guy to get you that, and O'Neal Cruz forgot there was 2 outs and wasn't running right on the contact, so got hosed at the plate. Jack also hit a home run that should have been a home run that was robbed. An absolute amazing defensive play by Miami today. So, I mean, the bats look like they're in place. You still have Spencer Horowitz, who still coming off of wrist surgery, should be in play here soon. You got young guys like Andy Rodriguez that got to step up. You got Henry Davis that might come up at some point. It's got to prove that he can play at the MLB level. You still got Tamar Johnson somewhere in there. There's a lot of potential, but it also needs the coaching. And I could come on here and say that Shelton was a terrible manager last year, which by all rights, I think that could have been argued. He's not the greatest at pinch hit situations, but so far this year, he's having guys steal, being aggressive, getting runners into scoring position. It looks better offensively than it did last year, and I think our rotation is better than it was last year. Now, that being said, our bullpen is fucking atrocious. It is a nightmare. And I said this in the offseason when everybody was like, oh no, we need to sign bats. We need to do this. We need to do that with offense. That's great. But at this point in time, if Miami's putting up almost 5 per game on us because our bullpen is giving up 3 runs in the last 2 innings, offense wouldn't be enough. It's there's not somebody that can come in and shut down a game. I don't know what happened to David Bednar, and I hope he figures it out. But by all means, to me, it looks like he has no movement anymore. The ball doesn't move; it's just straight, and hitters are just having a field day with him. And you have, I don't even know. Looking at the bullpen, I couldn't even tell you who the best pitcher is. Now, I will say, what I saw out of Justin Lawrence today, he looked like he had movement. And then after he gave up that first hit, it just now rightfully so. That first hit was kind of like a bloop single, and then Jack Swinsky sells out for the ball. With 2 outs, I don't know why you're diving when you could have just kept it in front of you, kept the guy at first base. But after that double that maybe was a single with an error on Sawinski, then you have another single right in front of O'Neal Cruz. Like, it just, to me, it's hard to pick who the closer should be at this point, but also who even comes in a bullpen situation and you can trust. Because the starters at this point, you wish they all go 9 innings every game, but that's not going to happen. So, to me, I just don't know what the option is there. Like, they need to make trades of some sort, or I don't know. Do you call up Bubba Chandler and Ashcraft, and instead of having them be starters right away, have them be bullpen guys? I don't know if that's something that you reasonably do. It's But you need somebody to rely on. How are you going to win games if you can't rely on closers or just bullpen guys to get you out of situations? It's just right now that scares me so much that the most that I can reasonably forecast for the Pirates would be 500. That 81 and 81, I think they're better than they were last year offensively. Their coaching, at least, and the mindset around the offensive side of the ball looks to be better. They need to execute, and they need some players to step up. But overall, I mean, I don't think the addition of Tommy Pham adds much in the form of offense, but maybe in the form of accountability. That he seems to be a type of guy that's gonna call you out for what it is, which at times could either hurt or help your locker room. I don't really know what he's gonna add, but I mean, I hope he keeps the accountability level high. Key Brian Hayes, I'd like to see him step up this year. He's got a new swing, staying through the ball a little bit more, keeping 2 hands on the bat. So I hope he pulls around. Jack Sawinski looks much better in his first game. I mean, it's only been 1 game, but should have had a home run. Could have had a home run. Had the early double in the first that Cruz should have scored on, but he forgot that there were 2 outs. But overall, I mean, I think they're better than they were last year, depending on what they do with the bullpen. Because if they get a bullpen and they figure something out, maybe there's a chance to do something with that rotation, that starting rotation, because that rotation is nuts, and the potential rotation for the future is ridiculous. So if fans show out this year and you give Nutting money and he doesn't use it in this offseason, then you can complain. But give him money so that there is a chance for next year, because that starting rotation is ridiculous. If those 5 players, being Skeens, Jones, Ashcraft, Chandler, Burrows potentially, and that's not even including Mitch Keller. You have so much potential. As fans, be excited about it. Go to games. I plead you to not be the idiots that are trying to boycott, which is costing the Pirates a chance at competition. Just go out and support your team. If you hate nutting that much, put a sign on the ballpark wall. I don't just go. But for me, that's my projection. I'll send it back over to Zach if he's got any more comments on anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, when you and I talk ball, it makes sense. I mean, I think the Central this year looks very weak, but I don't think there's any reason why the Cardinals can't take it. If they give the torch to their young guys and they move Arenado, I think you guys have a really good thing going in Pittsburgh with the at least the starting rotation and the bats. But the bullpen, I mean, David Bednar is scary, dude. He is scary. And this is another thing I'd like to just throw on the top there with just bullpen in general with baseball. It genuinely seems like to me a few teams have a lot of the quality bullpen relievers. And other teams have a lot of the guys that eat innings and can get outs. Maybe they're not top quality with stuff and certain stats and things like that. And then there is 50 layers of shit, and then there's all the other teams. In my opinion, pitchers are no longer athletes once they establish the DH rule, and pitchers are just focusing on throwing. And because they're just focusing on throwing now, I feel like there's an uptick in injuries and getting hurt and having to dominate and less, I want to say less talent pool to pull from. But there's not a lot of pitchers in the league, in my opinion. In the grand scheme of baseball, there's just not a lot of pitching in the league. And the ones that are top tier, in my opinion, there's less than 30 top tier pitchers in the league to go around. So that means there's going to be teams that have 2, 3, 4 of those pitchers, and some teams don't have any. And pitching has just been, good pitching has just been very difficult to find lately in baseball. And in my opinion, not just in the major leagues, everywhere you look. Go down to your local rec league and watch them play. I guarantee you their pitchers ain't got anything on them. In my opinion, pitching is a lost art. I think we need to get it back. And I'm going to say this once. It's going to be very controversial, but it's revolving around pitching. There is one human being out there who is a former Cy Young winner who is offering his services to any MLB team for the league minimum. You'd be stupid not to take it. I don't care how much of a locker room problem he is. Give him his own stall in a different room. Don't let him talk to anybody else.
You think he'd play closer for Pittsburgh?
I think he'd close for Pittsburgh? Dude, I think he'd fucking give David Bednar. I can't say what I was going to say because we're live, but I think he'd give David Bednar velo slaps for the league minimum.
I mean, that's I just don't know if he would want to do anything other than start. I mean, he's a starter.
I'm sure he'd want to start. I'm sure he'd want to start, but I'm sure he also understands that he has been playing in other leagues, Mexico and Japan, and the caliber, the quality isn't there, and he hasn't pitched to MLB standards in a minute. So I'm sure he would understand if he wasn't a starter and he was more of a bullpen depth reliever until he could get back in the saddle and find that groove as a starter. But I think any MLB team goes and picks up that guy. I think it's going to be a big pickup. I understand the MLB's commissioner and the league politics are in place, but Jesus Christ, guys, you guys have a pitching shortage, and you're blackballing one pitcher. You didn't even do anything wrong.
Yeah,
I'll leave it where it is.
Yeah, I think we got to expand on that on another episode for sure. But, I mean, that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. I just want to thank Zach for joining us. It's a lot of fun, and I look forward to many more of these, and hopefully we'll get more guests on here. But just stay tuned with us. Just make sure you click that follow button, subscribe button, wherever platform that you're on. We will keep you in touch and let you know when we go live again. Probably do some power rankings at some point, just random conversations. If there's any topics that you want to cover, go ahead and leave comments, and we'll put them in episodes. If there's anything that you don't want to agree or you don't agree with, or you want to give us a little stuff for it, go ahead, give us a little stuff for it. We'll gladly take any criticism, comments, and we'll make videos about it. We'll have fun with it. So look forward to catching people around.
Yeah, you guys can catch me on Twitter at Amateur Clutch. You guys can catch me on Instagram, the same. It's AMATORE Clutch. Go ahead and follow me on there. You guys are more than welcome to DM me anytime. I know my stuff's private, but you can you can find it. You can shoot me DM. I usually answer it if it looks real. Half the DMs I get on Instagram and Twitter are spam anymore. So
absolutely
love to talk to you guys. You guys want to come on the show, hit me up, hit us up. Yeah, what are we thinking? Next week or next month, or how do we want to lay this out?
You know what we could do? Let's do it next week, and we'll just do like an opening day
Have a weekly wrap around.
Recap. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to the first episode. We will catch you next week. All right.
See you guys.